Okay, folks, so this week you will be working on the production assignment in SAP. This is your hands-on production assignment. So before you start this assignment, you should and you must read all the slides relevant to the chapter from textbook on production. Now, as the word suggests, production meaning that you are basically going to be producing materials or products for to to sell to your customers. Okay. So having said that, you obviously are provided with an answer template, just like your previous assignments, and there are a total of 16 exercises in this production assignment. So let's see what this production assignment entails. Again, make sure you read the scenario given to you. So in here it says, in order to process a complete manufacturing process, which is a production process, you will take different roles within the company. So you're still representing GPI company. You will be a production supervisor, a shop floor worker, and a plant manager. Overall, you'll be working in materials management and production planning and execution. Now, before you start your production, you need to do a forecast demand for your touring bike product, which you are producing, and make changes to the material master of the bikes. After that, you will create a 12-month sales and operations plan for your product group and receive the production relevant goods for the storage location and issue goods to the production owner. So now, one of the things that you have to realize is when you run a production within a company, you really need to know what you need to produce. And how will you know that? You will know that from your demand, what your customers' demand is. I mean, no company wants to produce, in excess. They want to produce in optimum or at optimum levels. So in order to do that, they need to know the demand. Okay, so they need to know what their customers what the customer demand is. So when you're doing a production, you have to do these steps. So like here says, you start with the forecast demand, then you create a 12-month sales and operations plan, and then you proceed with because this sales and operations plan will allow you to understand what your demand is, how much do you need, what materials do you need, and what quantity do you need of those materials in order to do that production run or go ahead with the production order. In the final steps, once the production is confirmed and the produced goods are received at your storage location, then once this production is completed and all the goods have been received in your storage location or your warehouse, then you will do a settlement of the costs. So every company, when you do a production run, you buy materials, you have to pay for labor, you have to pay for many number of things. So when you're paying, you need to make sure that your accounts are balanced. Who is going to pay? Which department is going to pay for the production order? Which department is going to pay for the materials? Which production department within your company is going to pay for the labor? So that's called settlement of costs, and that's what the ultimate step in the production order is. So make sure you read these steps, what they are. And like I always say, in order for you to appreciate the assignment, you need to make sure that you understand the key concepts, and that understanding will come from you reading the chapter on production. Okay, I keep saying, I overemphasize this, but really, honestly speaking, I have seen students that appreciate what they're doing, they understand what they're doing, they enjoy the assignment, are the ones that understand the key concepts. Okay, so here in the first step, you change the material master record. Again, follow the steps, hashtag, remember what you have to use in place of hashtag. Remember that any data that you enter in SAP has to be alphanumeric. As you realize, anything that is not alphanumeric, when you enter in data, that has to be, there's something wrong with that data entry. Okay, then change the routing for the finished goods. So these are the initial steps that you will be doing. Then you will display the product group. So this is basically your bike is your product group that you're going to be producing in the future in this assignment. Now number 4 is where you create the sales and operations plan. So you create a 12-month sales and operations plan. This is a tool used to consolidate data from the forecasting of the future sales and the production levels. In this, it's called SOP in short, will be based on the historical consumption value. So what has been the history of your customer demand or your consumption values over the past maybe 3 years, maybe 5 years. Here, you're looking at a 12-month sales and operations plan. So this will allow you to understand what your demand is, how much material, what material, how many would you need for your production order. So in number 4, that's what you try to understand, your sales and operations plan. Now once you have that, you transfer this sales and operation plan to the demand management, which allows you, which is essentially is a tool used to disaggregate planning data from high levels plan down to the detailed planning level. So that is, so now remember that bike, there are parts to the bike, right? You have wheels, you have you have gear, stuff like that. So when you do demand management, it allows you to break down each element of the product that you need to produce. So let's say the bike has 10 parts. So the demand management will allow you to understand the demand for each of the 10 parts. So whether you need 100 wheels, whether you need 200 gears, stuff like that. So that's number 5, okay? Then number 6, then you review the demand management, make sure everything is on order before you proceed to do your materials production scheduling and materials resource planning. Now, what this is you run to generate series of planned orders. So planned orders are the ones that you have planned for. Okay, this is the number of orders. These are the number of materials of the finished products you need. What is your plan? That's your plan order, and that comes from your sales and operations plan and demand management. Concurrently or side by side, you run a materials production scheduling and a materials resource planning, and to generate a plan order for dependent requirements that have been created by BOM or bill of materials. And remember, what is dependent requirements? Now, dependent requirements are this. Okay, so you need 10 bikes. Okay, out of the 10 bikes, each have 2 wheels. So the dependent requirements for the 10 bikes, the 10 plan orders is 20. 10 times 2, because each bike needs 2 wheels. So that's called your dependent requirements. Okay, so you create plan orders, you understand plan orders, then you also understand your dependent requirements. Okay, and you know what a bill of materials is from your chapter. So you need these 2 plan orders for dependent requirements that have been created by your bill of materials. Okay, the number 8, you review your stock requirements list. It's a dynamic list which is dynamically changes whenever the transaction occurs using the material. Okay, then now what you do is you are slowly going into the production phase. You convert the planned order, whatever you've planned, 10 bikes you've planned, you convert that into production order. Convert a plan order to generate into a materials production scheduling or a materials resource planning to run a production order. The stock requirement list displays the suggested plan orders from the materials production scheduling run. Okay, number 9. Then number 10 is you receive your materials for that plan order, for that production run into your inventory. Yeah, okay. Then you have, now that all the necessary components are in the, you'll issue them to your production order. So now you have, in number 10, you gathered all the materials. Number 11, now you will issue, you will go ahead and that we have all the materials that we need to run the production order. That's in number 11. Okay, then in number 12, you review the production order status. What is the production order status, where it is, and then in number 11, you will confirm the production order. Now here you see confirm completion of production. When assembly has been completed for the current production order, you need to confirm certain procedures and activities that have to be completed, and you need to record the quantity of end product manufactured. So why this is because you have to understand that when you do a production order, sometimes raw materials are wasted. Okay, so you have to make sure that you are confirming to the quantity of the end product that you're manufacturing, because you have to take into account what you wasted, how much waste there was in terms of raw materials. Then once this is done, you receive goods for the production order. That is, receive the completed goods in your finished inventory. So this you have completed the production order, everything is completed, so all the bikes are there. Now they are coming into your inventory, your storage location or your warehouse. Check the quantity proposed against the quantity specified in the production order. If there are any discrepancies, the system will decide if an error or a warning message should be generated depending on the deviation identified. Number 11, you'll review the costs assigned to the production order. Remember, in the beginning of the assignment, beginning of the video, I said that the production order concludes only when you settle costs. That is, when you're doing a production order, GBI company is spending something on the production order, right? Where buying the materials, buying the raw materials, paying for labor, paying for electricity. When you're running an assembly line, you're paying for so many other things, overages, etc., etc. Now, within the GBI company, somebody has to account for those costs. Somebody has to pay for those costs, right? You have to pay for materials that you buy from your vendor, which you have seen in your production order. You have to pay your labor. So who's going to pay? Which department within the GBI company? So number 15 and number 16 is essentially you are basically accounting for what costs you had incurred, and number 16 is essentially you are what is called settlement of costs, and this is settle costs for the production order, and this concludes your production order. Now remember, every time I keep saying this, and I'm going to continue to repeat this, as that you will appreciate the hands-on exercise in SAP only when you thoroughly read the chapter that is associated with production. Okay, now when you do the assignment, remember to read every step, every sentence that is given to you, because you need to understand what you are doing, why you are doing, and generally speaking, you will enjoy the process when you do that. Okay, with that said, this concludes the video on production. Good luck.